All right, everybody, what we're going to be talking about today is systems of inequalities. So make sure you got a beautiful x-axis and a beautiful y-axis. We're going to start with the equation, just a random one. We're going to do 2x minus 3y is less than 12. All right? Now, this is in standard form. Now, standard form is ax plus by equals c. Now, inequalities means you're dealing with what type of symbol? Less than, greater than, less than or equal to, or greater than or equal to, if we're reading it from like left to right. Okay? So things you need to understand about less than and greater than signs. Okay? These right here will always have a dotted. All right, so anytime it's less than or greater than, you're always going to make what's called a dotted line. But over here, you're going to always have a solid. Okay, so I'm going to make a little, it's just for your notes in your journal. Okay, so to make them nice and pretty, you could say, okay, remember, this always creates dotted, this always creates a solid. That's important to know. All right. Now, we have some pretty awesome formulas that we use with, remember, this is standard form. So I'm going to write standard form. And we have to be able to identify the A, the B, and the C in standard form. So our A value is 2, our B value is -3, and our C value is 12. Now, there's a couple of cool little formulas you can use that will always find your X-intercept and your Y-intercept. Now, quickly reviewing those formulas, your X-intercept will always be the C value divided by your A value, and your Y-intercept will always be the C value divided by your B value. So let's go ahead and find them real quickly. It's going to be super easy. All right. So my C value is 12 in both circumstances. Okay. My A value is 2, so I'm going to put a 2. My B value is -3. I'm going to put a -3. I'm going to just do 12 divided by 2. Sweet. That's 6. So my X-intercept set is 6, 0. And C divided by B, 12 divided by -3 is -4. Put 0, -4. There's my Y-intercept. And then I'm going to plot them. 6, 0, 0, -4. Now, another thing you can do is what's called the cover-up method, where you cover up one and you solve for the other. So I just cover it up. So hopefully you see 2x is less than 12. You divide both sides by 2, you get 6. You cover up this one, 12 divided by -3, you get -4. So that's another way of looking at it without having to use a formula. But we're going to plot these. 6, 0. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 right there. So I'm going to make 6, 0. All right. There we go. There's a 6, 0. Then 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 right here. 0, -4. There's my point. 0, -4 right there. It's beautiful. Now this is where you got to kind of be very careful, because I said you got to make a dotted line here, because that says less than. So we're not going to do a solid. I'm going to do a dotted. And so here we go. Dashed. So here we go. What I'd like you to do is I'd like you to just connect those to the best of your ability. Just like that. There we go. And I'll kind of shrink it up a little bit. There we go. There you go. So there we go. We have our dotted line. Now, I'm not going to do any shading just yet. I'm not going to do any shading just yet. Just want to make sure you guys know how to plot your Y-intercept and your X-intercept. And I'll box in those cool little formulas. Ready? Right here, right? That's your X-intercept, and this is your Y-intercept. This little tool is so helpful. All right. Now, the next thing we need to know is we need to know how to solve for y. So you got, listen, that's kind of a non-traditional way. Here's a more traditional way of like changing it to slope-intercept form. So we got to know how to do that too, okay? So we're going to change the standard form to slope-intercept form. So hopefully you can see it. Always treat your inequality, always treat it like an equal sign. Like if you're moving numbers across, you got to pay really close. That's a better line right there. Okay, so we're going to go ahead. In this particular one, what are we going to solve for? I'm going to write, we're going to learn how to solve for y. We're going to solve for y. I forgot to do one little thing. So before I solve for y, I'm just going to add one little box. I'm going to write the word slope. Now slope in slope-intercept form is m, but in standard form you can solve it by knowing the negative a value over the b value. Negative a over b. Now if we look at our a value is 2. So I'm going to put, instead of a 2, I'm going to put a negative 2. And our b value is negative 3. So our slope is 2 over 3. Now check this out. You can see it actually works. Up 2 over 3. Up 2 over 3. Hopefully you saw that. Up 2 units over 3. Up 2 units over 3, just like a replay. So we actually got the right slope. Okay, so that's our slope. So what's the formula? If you have everything in standard form, the negative a over the b. All right, so we're done with the slope. So we got our x-intercept, we got our y-intercept, we have our slope. Now we're just solving for y to show you that this is indeed the same inequality. So how do we solve for y? Well, the first thing we do is we take away 2x from both sides. That zeroes out. And I'm left with negative 3y is less. Now watch what I do here. I take that negative 2x and just move it on up. And I take the 12 and I move it right there in the back. All right, so I move the variables up front, put the constants in the back. Okay. The last thing we're going to do is we're going to divide everything that we see by a negative 3. Now this is very, 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 very important. Okay, so I'm going to make a little note right here. Ready? Here we go. All right, I'm going to change color to green just because. All right, or maybe red since it's a warning. All right, here we go. Red. All right, whenever you multiply or divide an inequality by a negative, the inequality sign flips. All right, oh, I should put warning. There we go. All right, there we go. Warning. Whenever you multiply or divide an inequality by a negative, what happens to the inequality sign? It does what? It flips. What are you talking about? Okay, watch this. A negative divided by a negative is a positive. But what happens when the inequality sign? It flips. You see, I'm flipping it. I'm flipping it, man. Or, whoa, man. All right, negative divided by negative is a positive. 12 divided by negative 3 is negative 4. Boom! There's my answer in slope-intercept form. You can see the slope is 2 over 3. And you can see that the y-intercept is at a what? Negative 4. Boom! Right there. So whether or not you change it to slope-intercept form, or whether or not you keep it in what type of form? What do we call it? Standard. Can you still get the same dotted line? Yes. What does this tell me, though? This greater than symbol lets me know not only is it dotted, I got a shade everywhere above it. So this lets me know I got a shade up. Now, what does that mean for us? That means we're going to be shading everything what? Above it. So I'll be working on that tomorrow. And that's the last part of our video for today. Have a wonderful day.